right, so Mrs. Crunk asked me to come and talk to you guys about photography and taking pictures, okay? Because that's one of the things that I do when I'm not teaching is I do photography. Now, the number one most important thing that you need to remember when you are taking a picture is focus. Your pictures, it doesn't matter if you've got the most beautiful setting and the most perfect composition. If it's not in focus, nobody's going to want to look at it, okay? So how do you do focus? How do you take care of making sure what your focus point is in focus? What do you do?
Tap the camera and keep the camera still.
Keep the camera still. That is the biggest part of it, okay? Don't just go, oh, that's a good one, click. That's a good one, click. That's a good one, click. Because that's not, you're going to get blurry pictures that way. Stop. And what you want to do, practice this. Pretend like you've got a camera up in front of your face. All of you, play along with Mrs. Almanza. Okay, pretend like you've got a camera up in front of your face. Okay, you look through the viewfinder and you see, okay, this is the picture I want to take. Now, before you click the button, take a deep breath, hold it, and push the button. Then once it goes click, then you can breathe out. That way, your camera's not shaking as you're breathing, because when you breathe in and out, it makes your camera shake, okay, no matter how still you're holding it. So be sure when you take a picture, am I moving too much?
No, it's not falling like it's
Oh, it's getting me though. Okay, so when you take a picture, one of the best ways to make sure your camera's not shaking is to take a deep breath, click the button, and then breathe, okay? So that way you're not, and your camera's going, because then your pictures aren't going to be in focus, okay? The other thing is, now, can you guess where this picture was taken? Yep, right over here, okay? Can you see? What is the focus of that picture? What draws your eye first? What draws your eye first? Okay, so you're looking at me first because that's drawing your eye, but there's something else that I was actually focusing on in this picture. What's the thing that's most in focus on the picture? The sunflower, that's right. Okay, so if you look, the sunflower was in the foreground. That means it was in front of me, and I was back behind the sunflower. So, because Mrs. Almanza is old, and she doesn't like to be in focus very much, I wanted the flower to be in focus, and me to be not as in focus. Okay, but do I still have something that you can focus on that is really sharp? Okay, you always want to have something like that in your pictures. Okay, now the next thing is, this picture is okay. It's not one of my best, but if I want to talk to you about something called the rule of thirds. Okay, so focus is number one. The next thing is composition, how your picture looks. You want to think about what's in your background and what's in your foreground, because the camera is only as smart as your eyes, and your eyes are the most important thing. So when you're looking through the camera, you are the one that needs to decide, what am I taking a picture of? What's my most important thing? So when you're looking at a picture, the most important thing that you want in focus needs to be at the front of your picture, unless you've got a special lens where you can take that picture and focus on something that's behind, okay? But for the most part, you're going to want to focus on what's in the front. All right, now the rule of thirds just complicates things just a little bit. Okay, have you guys all seen this grid inside your camera? This will help you when you're composing your pictures, because everywhere that these lines intersect is an important spot on the picture. Now, if you'll notice, this part right here is where I chose to have my focus, this middle section. So you see there's 3 sections this way, 3 sections this way. Got it? Okay. Now, like I said, this one's not the best picture for this. We're going to look at a couple of others that I hope will show it a little bit better. Okay. All right. So here's the birds, pictures of birds that I took on a trip to the botanical gardens. Okay. You'll notice that I've got lots of space above and then just a little bit of space below. Where do you think my birds are in the rule of thirds? Think about, put that imaginary grid up there. What part of the picture of the rule of thirds are my birds? What? They're sort of in the middle. Let's look. Okay, so they intersect across this bottom line, but where else do they intersect? They intersect in those two parts as well. So whenever you can get your subjects to intersect on those lines, the better your composition is going to be. Now, just like every rule for photography, once you master the rule, then you can break it. But you need to remember and master those rules first. So when you're taking your picture, do you stay in one spot every time you take that picture? No, you want to go to different angles. Now, I probably took 15 pictures of these birds before I finally got one that I liked. And that's the other thing about photography. So focus, composition, and the third thing, practice. You have to take lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures. I think that I probably took over 50,000 pictures last year in 2015. Okay, that was a lot of pictures. Now, a lot of them I do for people, so they're paying me to do it, but I practice all the time. I bring my camera usually everywhere I go, and I practice. Okay, so let's look at this one. On this projector, it's a little hard to see where the focus is, but this one I really zoomed in. Okay, where do you think my rule of thirds lines are intersecting? Where do you think? Okay, Cecilia, can you help her? Right about here? Okay, let's look. Okay, so do you see how it's okay to have all this open space over here because your eye is still drawn to the rock that's shaped like a heart, isn't it? Okay, and it intersects on two different places. So in composition, this is a correctly composed picture. Okay, everybody see that? All right, let's look at another one. Okay, what do you think? What do you think, Aiden? Is that where your eye goes to first? Yeah, okay. So if I were to draw lines, this strawberry is right in the middle of that cross, okay? Okay, because that's where my eyes go first, and then my eyes move around the picture to look at the bowl of strawberries, okay? But that was my focus, and that's where I wanted everybody to look first, okay? So you want to focus. Take your breath, click your picture, and then move on. Okay, now, is there anything in my background? No. Is that okay? Yeah. Does that still look like a pretty cool picture? It's one of my favorites, so I like that one. Okay. All right. So this is what I was telling you about practice. I had this little pot of flowers. And I took it from multiple angles. So this was my first one. That was my second one. What's in focus there? I didn't want to focus the front flowers. What did I focus? I focused in the back because I wanted this to be kind of blurry, but I wanted to get the light as it was hitting the top of the leaves. And that's the next important thing. So we've talked about what? Focus, composition with the rule of thirds. We've talked about practice. The next most important thing, and some photographers would say it is the most important thing, is where is your light? Where is your light? Because that's what you're trying to do. Photography is all about capturing light and capturing where light hits and what it's highlighting. Okay? So you'll see that my leaf was highlighted with light, and I was catching the very tips of those flowers with a little bit of light. Okay, so that was my second one. Okay, I did a third. Oh wait, I went back, yeah. Okay, then I posed it in some different ways. There was another one. Okay, but this was the one I wound up with. Okay, if I were to draw my lines again, where is my rule of thirds? Where is it intersecting, Aiden? Right in the middle of the flowers. That's right. Okay, so that's where my focus was. Did I still capture some sunlight? I did. Okay, so I'm still capturing light. It's just barely tipping the edges of those flowers. Okay, so light is super important when it comes to photography. Okay, the next thing is when you're taking pictures here at school, if you haven't asked the people, the kids, that if you're going to take pictures of them, you should always take pictures of the back of them, not the front. If you're going to take pictures of them looking at you, you need to ask their permission first. Okay, that's very important. So you ask their permission first, but what's my focus here? What am I focusing on, Sophia? The back of the kids, that's right. Because I wanted to get, what am I trying to capture here? What? Well, but this moment in time, what am I trying to get? What am I trying to capture? Look at the picture. What are they doing? What am I trying to capture in my picture? I'm trying to tell a story. What is it? The what?
The kids listening to the music.
Right, and are they really listening? Yeah, you don't see them moving around, you don't see them looking around, you don't see them poking each other. They're really listening. I'm trying to tell a story with this picture. That the storyteller came to our school and the kids really, really enjoyed it because they were focused on him. That's the story I was trying to tell with that picture. Does it work that way? Does it? Okay. So you want to tell a story with your pictures. Okay, this was last year, just before I broke my ankle, if you will recall. Okay, so again, I stationed myself away where my background didn't have a lot going on because my focus was the balloon. Okay, and do you see how, this projector is not showing it really sharp. On my screen it's really sharp. But everything here is in focus because I wanted to capture what was going on, having them prepare the balloon and get it ready to go. Okay? And you'll also notice rule of thirds again. Okay? Empty space, lower area. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Then you go down. 1, 2, 3. So where is my flame? Yeah. It's right in the middle because that was my focus. Okay? That's what I wanted you to notice first. Okay? And then your eyes move to what's causing it. Okay, all right. Now I wanted to get some pictures of people. Now you notice that I didn't get right up close and take their pictures, because could I ask all of them permission to take their pictures? No. So I stood back and I got as many people in the picture as I could, but they're still not close enough that you can actually really identify somebody unless you know them. Okay? So I wanted to capture how many folks actually got to come to the balloons last year. Okay? All right. And again, you'll notice, where's my horizon line? It's in the bottom third of my picture. It's okay to have a bunch of white space. It gives the eye an area to go to rest before it looks at the rest of your picture. Okay? Again, they're working on the balloon. Okay? It's okay to fill up your frame with your subject. Get close and get the whole picture, a whole subject in your picture. That's another way to tell your story. Okay, the balloon going up. Again, I filled the picture frame with the balloon. And I wanted to get the people that were here. But again, did I give you a place to rest your eyes? I did. And then my balloon is on the rule of third. Okay? All right. So now if you look at, do you like this picture? Yeah. Okay, so I've got my balloon in this third of the picture, and then up here in the upper part, I have the moon, okay? So now your eye goes here, and then as it travels around the picture, it goes, oh, there's the moon too. And then it travels back around to the balloon. Okay, so you want to tell a picture or tell a story with your pictures. Okay? All right, so what are the things we talked about? Focus, 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 right? Composition, how you put your picture together. Okay? Then practice, 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 practice. Fourth was capturing the light, capturing the light. And then number 5 was tell a story with your picture. Okay, so 5 things to remember as you're taking pictures. You're not just going out there clicking away and hoping one of them turns out good, right? You want to really take a few seconds, focus. What is your focus? What are you trying to take a picture of? Okay, and then take that breath, click the picture, and then breathe out. That's going to help your pictures get into focus and stay into focus. Okay? All right, any questions? You what?
I'm telling everyone you're a
You're going to tell everyone I'm a photographer? You've seen my pictures? Yeah. Yeah, my pictures are on the big screen once in a while too. Yeah. So, anybody else?
Can you give me the horizon line concept?
The rule of thirds?
Well,
Oh.
the horizon line, specifically the bottom line?
Yeah, because if we were to go in, let's just take this picture. If we were to go in and draw our, go back, please. If we were to go in and draw our grid, okay, you'll see where I lined it up with the light post. Then if I go across one, so I use landmarks to help me line things up. Okay, so if you've got your grid on your camera, use that part. Use it to help you compose your picture, because you're going to be happier with it once you're once you get it taken. Okay?
So if they were taking pictures like we're doing in open house and stuff with people,
Uh-huh.
is it better to be further away from them, closer to them? What would you recommend?
It depends. It depends on, number one, if you've asked their permission, get as close as you want as long as you can capture what's going on. You have some context. Okay, so like in a few weeks, we're going to be having literacy night. If you're walking around taking pictures, you might have some people looking at one of the books that you guys are reading or practicing one of the worksheets that you guys do. You want to get in close and get their face, but you also want to see what they're doing because that tells that story. Oh, they were looking at a book during literacy night, or they were playing a game, a math game, or something like that. So you want to be able to capture, let's see, do I have, let me close this. But when you could take group pictures, okay, these were from last year. These were some fifth graders from last year. Okay, the other thing that you want to try to do is you want to do pyramid shapes. If you've got people that, if you've got a group that you want to get the whole group, you want to try to get them into pyramids. That just, it's more pleasing to the eye that way. I'm getting hot now. Okay, all right, anything else? Okay, could I use the top third of my picture as the horizon line? I could. It all depends on how you like a picture to look because you're the photographer, you're the artist. I like my horizon line down on the bottom third. Some people like it right in the middle. Some people like the horizon right at the top, and then their foreground, there's lots of foreground. So lots of things to remember. That's why practice is one of the most important things. Just take pictures, lots and lots of pictures.